There's an island in New York City that no one talks about. It's not on the tour maps, you can't visit it. And the few who have say they'll never go back. Because behind the vines and rotting buildings are secrets the city tried to bury. This is North Brother Island, and these are the 7 dark truths they don't want you to know. Number 1. It was a quarantine prison. Before luxury condos and bike lanes, New York had a very different way of dealing with the sick. It locked them on an island and threw away the key. North Brother Island was home to Riverside Hospital, a quarantine facility that looked more like a prison than a clinic. In the late 1800s, immigrants and locals with diseases like smallpox, tuberculosis, and typhoid were forcibly sent here. Once admitted, patients were confined behind barred windows, surrounded by guards, and completely cut off from the outside world. There were no family visits, no phone calls, no appeals, and for many, no return. Urban legends claim the screams of the dying still echo in the hallways, but no one's allowed inside to find out. Number 2. Typhoid Mary died here. Alone. You've probably heard the name Typhoid Mary, but few people know how her story really ended. Mary Mallon was the first known asymptomatic carrier of typhoid fever in the US, and the government made her a villain. She was a cook who unknowingly infected dozens, but instead of giving her medical care, the city locked her on North Brother Island, permanently. She lived in forced isolation for over 23 years in a tiny cottage with no visitors, no freedom, and no trial. Guards watched her like a criminal. She died on the island in 1938, completely alone. To this day, her cottage still stands, half collapsed and covered in vines. And some say her ghost still walks the shoreline, looking for a way out. Number 3. The island was a floating morgue. On June 15, 1904, one of New York's worst disasters unfolded just a few hundred feet from North Brother Island. A steamship called the General Slocum, packed with over 1,300 passengers, mostly women and children, caught fire in the East River. Flames tore through the ship within minutes. With no safety training and rotting life jackets, over 1,000 people died. Bodies were pulled from the water for days. Most of them washed up on the shores of North Brother Island. Survivors described the sand littered with burnt shoes, melted parasols, and the sounds of crying. The island became a temporary morgue. Local newspapers refused to print the photos, and for decades, no one spoke of it. But when the fog rolls in, some claim they still hear screams from the river. Number 4. Everything was left behind. When the island was finally abandoned in the 1960s, the city didn't clear it out. They just locked the doors and walked away. Inside the crumbling hospital buildings, everything was left exactly as it was. Rusted hospital beds, mold-covered X-ray machines, patient records still lying open on desks. There are reports of untouched syringes still on trays, and names scratched into the walls by patients who were never allowed to leave. Nature took over fast, ivy choking the buildings, trees bursting through floors. But the bones of the place are all still there. Urban explorers who have broken in say it feels like stepping into a time capsule of misery. Some say the air feels heavier, like the island itself remembers. Quick break. If you're into strange places with dark secrets, you'll want to stick with us. We drop at least 3 new videos every week uncovering the weirdest real-world stories you've never heard of. So, if you're enjoying this one, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. Alright, let's get back to the video. Number 5. It was a rehab facility from hell. In the 1950s, New York had a bold idea. Turn North Brother Island into a rehab center for young heroin addicts. The goal was isolation and healing. The reality was closer to a prison camp. Teenagers were sent here involuntarily and forced into cold turkey detox behind barbed wire fences. There was no proper medical care, no therapy, just punishment. One former patient said it was like being locked in an asylum run by guards instead of doctors. Rooms had no heat in winter, and some teens were kept in solitary confinement for days. The program collapsed after just a few years. The city abandoned the island again. Only this time, they didn't even bother to explain why. Number 6. It's completely off limits, even to police. Today, North Brother Island is labeled a bird sanctuary, but that's just the official excuse. In reality, no one's allowed near it. Not tourists, not journalists, not even the NYPD. The buildings are unstable, the terrain is dangerous, and there's supposedly toxic waste buried under the soil. But that's not what keeps people away. Local boaters claim their radios cut out near the island. Some say they've seen lights flickering inside buildings that haven't had electricity in decades. News crews who've gotten rare access report equipment failures, corrupted footage, and strange shadows caught on camera. It's like the island refuses to be documented, and the city doesn't seem to mind keeping it that way. Number 7. New York City tried to erase it from history. Despite everything that happened here, the quarantines, the death, the disasters, North Brother Island is barely mentioned in New York's official history. Look it up on Google Maps, and you'll find blurry images or outdated satellite shots. Try searching city archives, and you'll discover that many records related to the hospital and its patients have mysteriously vanished. Tour guides don't talk about it. Museums barely mention it. Even locals have never heard of it. It's as if the city collectively decided to pretend it never existed, but the ruins are still there, slowly being devoured by vines. And so are the stories, hidden, ignored, waiting. Because when you bury the truth, it doesn't disappear, it festers. North Brother Island isn't just a forgotten piece of land. It's a symbol of what happens when society hides its darkest moments instead of facing them. From forced isolation to failed recovery, and even mass death. The island holds the echoes of stories New York tried to erase. But the past has a way of resurfacing, especially when it's never been told properly. If you found this video fascinating, there's another one on your screen right now. And trust me, it's even stranger than this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.